The hidden faces of narcissistic individuals, of emotional manipulators. They don't outright show you who they are because you would walk away straight away. Instead, they hide their red flags so that we don't recognise who they truly are as a person. Emotional manipulators, narcissistic individuals rarely arrive on the scene with warning signs. In fact, they more often than not come across as the kindest people in the room, the sweetest, the most generous, the most attentive, even the most vulnerable people. However, the charm is crafted, is calculated. Behind the charm is a web of control that's usually very challenging to see until you're too entangled in that web. When it comes to narcissistic individuals and their emotional manipulation, they have that charismatic martyrdom. When it comes to emotional manipulators, they play the role of the selfless victim to absolute perfection. Every story ends with them being hurt or betrayed or misunderstood. And they've been hurt more than anybody else. They've been attacked more than anybody else. They don't see the suffering in others. It's always about themselves. This not only wins sympathetic attention, it also goes all out to justify their behaviour. You end up feeling bad for them, even when you've not caused them any pain. Emotional manipulators go all out to twist the truth. At some point, you begin to notice those inconsistencies in their stories, how they subtly reshape events to their advantage, how they make you doubt your own memory, your own perception of reality, how they insist things didn't happen that you can recall happening. When it comes to emotional manipulators, it's not a misunderstanding, it's their manipulation. They lay on thick with the guilt trips, from silent treatment to explosive reactions. They use guilt as a weapon. They weaponize emotions such as guilt. You're constantly walking on eggshells around them for fear of upsetting them, trying to avoid hurting them, even when you've done absolutely nothing wrong. They are some of the most secretive people you could ever meet, and these secrets are things whereby if you had the information, it would lead you to make a choice that doesn't work to their advantage. They hide information that would make you see clearly. You get half-truths or vague explanations from them, and they stay steps ahead of you. And whenever you get close to that truth, they gaslight you. They insist that it didn't happen like that they never said that you're too sensitive, that you're overreacting so that they can keep control over the narrative. They divide people. They tell different groups of people different stories, and they go all out to make sure that those groups of people don't talk to each other to unravel the truth about the narcissist. Although eventually people do tend to come together and the narcissist is exposed, at which point a narcissist will accuse everyone else of turning against them. Nobody's there for them. Everybody's out to get them. They stir up tension between others. Your relationships become strained. They play both sides in the game. Yet the second you see them for who they are, they can't believe that you would hurt them in that way. They have no remorse. They lack the empathy to care about the pain or suffering that they cause to those around them. Only the consequences that they might face when exposed, which is why they lie, deny, gaslight, offer those future fakes or those false apologies. Whenever they hurt you, they minimalise it or they turn it back around onto you like it was your fault in some way. Their apologies often feel more like accusations. They're false, they're insincere. They turn around with, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry for whatever you think I did wrong. I already said I'm sorry. What more do you want? Usually leaving you feeling even more confused. And then they use those debt tactics. When you set up any form of boundary against a narcissistic individual, they take great offence to this. So they can ask for a favour that evening and you've already got something else arranged. You say no and they simply turn around with, after all I've done for you. To make you feel guilty, or they fall silent on you. Narcissists never forget a favour. It's not in a good way though. They forget the things that you have done for them. They don't forget the things that they did for you. Every action is a transaction when it comes to narcissistic individuals. Anything they ever do for you becomes emotional currency. It's used against you to control you or guilt trip you later down the line. When it comes to dealing with emotional manipulators, the best way to deal with them is to recognise their behaviour and safely step out of their games. Because they don't want to see what they don't want to hear, and they don't want to hear what they don't want to see. They've already created this grandiose illusion of themselves and this identity that they're better than everyone else, they're superior. So anything you say to try and help them, they just take it as criticism. It's an attack on their ego. Narcissists thrive on silencing and confusing their victims, and when you see their behaviour clearly, it becomes easier to break free from their grip. If anyone has any thoughts on this video, please do add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. If you are looking for reading, I do have several books out on Amazon. How to create boundaries around those who have no respect for your boundaries, such as narcissistic individuals. Behind the Mask, the new novel, The Rise of the Narcissist, which is the first in a 3-part series. 15 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People, How to Stay Sane and Break the Chain. A Narcissists Handbook, the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse. And Healing from Narcissistic Abuse, a guided journal for recovery and empowerment. If anyone is interested in any of those, they are all available on Amazon and they'll be in the description. Thank you very much for listening. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.